Hello friends, SentinalhMC here, and welcome to the second episode of this new build series. Please, for those of you who are interested, stay tuned to the end of this video for a very important announcement regarding the channel, the future of the channel, and I need your help. So I'll try not to talk about it too much during the video, just because that's kind of not what this video is about. But anyway, I've done some stuff, as you can tell, to the courthouse. So in the last episode, we kind of got this sort of roof bit done and figured out. So I went and used MC Edit, and I copied things around, and I've created most of the structure of the courthouse. Now, unfortunately, the creator of this 3D model didn't actually provide a rear view of this building. From the top view here, we can kind of see what the roof line is shaped like and kind of figure out what it's like. But the back of this building will kind of just have to be my own idea. It's probably going to be a copy of this, but instead of going in and having doors, it'll come out and have windows. That's probably what it's going to be. Anyway, I did go ahead and do the roof. It's not completely matching up with the 3D model, mainly because of how large this section is, and yet the roof is still the same height as this roof section, which you can do obviously if you can vary the slope like in this modeling program, but you can't do that in Minecraft because you're just working with cubes. So I've gotten as close as I can get, so I think it does a pretty good job. This roof blends in with this roof pretty well, and then this roof, just slopes pretty well as well. So I'm pretty happy with it. And now we're going to go ahead and work on tackling this center. What do you want to call it? A spire? I don't know. Anyway, we're going to work on tackling that, and that is going to require. That's not going to be too difficult, actually. I have to kind of figure out if we've got the size of it proper. So I've busted out a hole that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 blocks across in the center of the building, which I think is going to work right, because if we look at our reference image, we kind of are leaving just about the same amount of space at the upper end of that bit of roof there. So I think it's going to be a good size, not too large, not too small, to get in the detail that we want to get in. So the first thing we need to do is we need to build up this center plinth, and it needs to be higher than either of these roof sections. On the reference, this side roof section is lower than the main peak at the front, but ours it's higher, so we do need to build up one higher there. However, we do need to put a row of stairs on it, so we're probably going to use this level for that. That way it won't be too much higher than it was originally supposed to be, yet it'll still be higher than, it'll still be higher than this roof. So we can go ahead and put that there. And I'm only building basically half of it, because we'll copy around the rest. So we got that, and now we need to put in, I think, probably about 2 more levels of the sandstone here. No, don't go that far. So yeah, I'm thinking 2 more levels, and then it actually comes out again with another stairs. Alright, and that additional stairs is going to need to be placed on another level. So this thing's probably going to get pretty tall, but obviously it's not going to be as tall as the clock tower, which is good, because nothing in this city should be taller than the clock tower. There will be buildings that poke up above the level of the clock tower, but that's just because they're going to be built on higher ground. Although I don't think there's any ground high enough for something like a standard house to to reach up. Although I was thinking of building like a higher level sort of rich housing area. So this goes like that. It sort of hangs over the existing stairs level right there. And so that's good. We're just going to do that so I can get a better vision of what it looks like. In fact, we're going to go ahead and build this right there as well, so for the same reason. Okay, so that's good. And now the next thing that we're doing is we've got some pillars to build. If you look at our image, we've got 4 pillars, 2 of which are farther apart than the others. So let's see how much space we have. We have we're able to place, because we don't want to go all the way out to the edge, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blocks in order to work with. So if I break out 3 blocks, we should end up with 1 on the corners, 1 there, and 1 there. I know it's technically 3 blocks in the center instead of 2, like you probably would have, but we can't do that because it's not even. It's an odd number of blocks. So I do like that. That's what we're going to do. So in order to accommodate that, we have to place something behind these blocks, and I think I'm going to use wool for this. Yeah, the wool's going to be good. It's going to give us more contrast. I mentioned this when I was building the clock tower 2 years ago, that the further away something is from where you're going to be viewing it, so we're not going to go that far. So the farther away something is, the larger it has to be for it to be noticeable, detail-wise. So for instance, at the very top of that clock tower, if I was to place a fine detail, nobody would ever see it because you're only ever going to see it from the ground, and it's too far away. So we need a larger contrast between our stone bricks and whatever we put behind it up here. So we're going to use the white wool. Alright, so we'll drag these up. I'm not sure how tall these are going to be. In fact, this actually looks like a decent height. If we compare the height of the this part to the height of the plinth underneath, we can see that this middle part is supposed to be taller than that plinth. And of course, in the end, if we think that whatever we do end up building needs to be taller, we can just go ahead and do that with the magic of MC Edit. So we've currently got 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks tall. That's definitely not tall enough. We're going to at least go to 5, 6, 7. So let's see what 7 looks like. That will technically mean that it's not quite as... Although if you look at it, it almost looks like it's... Yeah, it's not quite as tall as it is long. So I think 7 will be proper, because once we put that that edge detail that we have on the rest of the building, once we put that on there and we count that in our measuring, it'll actually be taller than it is wide, because this is 9 blocks wide. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And now it's 7 blocks tall, which I think is good. Is that the 2/3 rule or 3/5 rule or whatever the heck it is? I like it. I think that's a good height. And if we decide later that, of course, that we don't want it that tall, we can obviously shrink it down. Okay, so there's a little bit of detail in the centers here. And the only way I'm going to be able to do that is to just use some stairs, if I even decide that we want to try and do that. And that would be basically that. We can't really put that detail on these side ones here other than just putting slabs on it. I do want to put something there. Well, anyway, we'll come back to that. We do need to put... There appear to be feet on these columns, which would be like that. But I don't really know if I want to do that. I don't want this to just fall down to nothing. Let's put these feet on and see what we think. Basically, that's what you have to do. Just try stuff and see if you like it. I could get on board with that. I'm just worried that... No. In the end, I don't like that. I want there to be a very defined line around the edge. Oh, come on. It's already almost nighttime? I still haven't gotten something put in to where I can mess with the night and day. Yeah, I think we're just going to leave it. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need to add our crown molding, we could call it, that we've had elsewhere on the build. So we're just going to copy a hunk of it, because that's the best thing to do. Although I didn't actually have MC Edit open. Where is it? MC Edit. Run that thing. Alright. It's kind of fun. They're actually putting in a new trailer outside. My dad had to move the car so he could do it. Alright, so we actually want to go 9 blocks. And we have it okay, so copy that. And we'll paste it up here. What we need to do is nudge it so it's like that. If we look here, the ridge comes out away from the columns. So we need to nudge it like that. Because that ridge of stairs needs to be outside of the columns. So we'll nudge it to the side. Now we've got it right there. So we will import it, and then we'll clone it, we'll rotate it, and we'll use these sliders to move it into position over here as well. And that's where we want it. So we'll clone that in, deselect, save this. I don't know if you have to deselect it, I just do it as habit. Alright, free build world. And there we go. It does look very, very wide, but, you know, that's what it's supposed to do. We need to fill this in here, obviously. We're going to do that with sandstone. There's no difference on the underside of these compared to... Well, there is, actually. So we're going to make sure we use the smooth sandstone along this. Put some glowstone around here so we can see better. I'll have to light this build up anyway, as well. Okay, so we got that. And now I definitely know I don't want this stuff here. We may end up putting something there, but it won't be that. Okay, now we need to finish up this center bit. The way we do that is by going like that, plopping that there, and running around with it. So there we go. Well, nope, one more bit. A stair right there. That looks good. Let's put a glowstone there so we can see. I do brighten the nighttime in post. I hope it doesn't make the picture on the right a little too bright. Okay. So now what we'll do is we'll just copy that all the way around. Go back to our MC edit. And we'll grab it. And we'll actually drag it down and grab the entire thing all the way down to the stairs. And actually, we need to copy it all the way down as far as we can go, which is right there, because if we go wait, come this way, nope, this way. I do not want to copy any of the roof bits, so actually we need to come up one, and we'll just fill that in ourselves. So now we just clone it, rotate it twice, and and move it into its proper position. There we go. And that is exactly what it needs to be. We're going to have to fix up these edge and corner bits. But that's where it goes. So we'll clone that. I don't want to select chunks. I want to deselect. I want to save. And now we'll close. We'll go back to Minecraft and fix up what we need to fix up. Okay. So first things first, we've got that going across where it's supposed to. Yes, yes. And so we'll place this stuff in where it goes. Put the slab in, put the stairs in. All the way around. It's easier to do this kind of small work in Minecraft, I find, rather than trying to do this little small detailed stuff in MC Edit. MC Edit I find is better for the big stuff like I just did, rather than, you know, this little fill in the gaps stuff, which, you know, it's just, you have more control actually in the game. More fine control over where your blocks go. Excuse me. Yep. That's exactly right. So we get this in, and then we'll have that right as rain. Oh, there's a shooting star. Did you see it? I like that in this texture pack. I don't know how they did it, but every once in a while a shooting star goes by in the skybox. Okay, that's good. That's what we want. So, next step is what goes above this. So, we now have this sort of cap, which we'll be using nether brick for. So let's see, this is 3 blocks wide. So I think what we're gonna do is, if we look at it, there's quite a wide ledge between the edge and the actual blocks. So I think what we're gonna do is the white in the picture, the white sort of border blocks in the corner, which we're going to use sandstone brick for. That's going to be that's going to be 1 block wider than the actual copper blocks, which are going to be made of nether brick, because in this texture pack, nether brick is this like rusty brown color. Which I think will look the best when used as this sort of, you know, bit here. So now we got another issue. We need to figure out, you see that bit at the top, we need to figure out how far in, oh, here's some funniness. So let's just fix that up. We don't need glass. Want some more glowstone blocks in here so we can see. Is that we need to figure out, because this is a weird shape. Building this shape is going to be a bit weird. We need to figure out how far in it goes. Now, it looks like, for our purposes, because we need to put that kind of windowy thing on it. I think it's a clock, actually. There's going to be a lot of clocks in this town, but, you know, that's fine. The big one, and then these little ones. Although, the only thing, since that's going to be so small, the only clock I can place there would be an item frame with a watch in it. Okay, so we can easily connect these together, because the bottom couple of layers are probably going to go straight up. Because we need to build up enough height to actually build that sort of window thing. It looks like, you know, like an alteration of our medallion from earlier. The width is good, and this thing goes right in the middle, and it looks like it starts right away with a slab. Okay, so that's the lowest point on this, is right at the bottom. What we should do is build this window thing to our liking, and then size the roof behind it according to that. So this will be like our lower plinth that we see there, the lower platform, because we don't have a lot of room to work with. And we can actually move this in a block, because it looks like it actually does and then the overhang comes back out. So, for example, it looks like what we end up with is some sort of a thing where we have a block in the center, which I'll actually use glowstone for. And then it's got blocks all the way around. Like, it'll be like a wheel, kind of. We'll place stairs around that to give it more roundedness. But then around that, it comes out again. And this sort of outer frame, like that. Which needs to be not so obvious as that. We gotta come up with a slope that we can, you know, live with. Slabs. And then maybe slab, and then there's a peak at the top, so we put a stair. And again, you're not going to see this up close. It's going to be from a distance. And then this one down here, for this edge, we want to place stairs like that. Turn the other way. Because that'll thin it out at the bottom. Make it look nice. We'll place stairs here and here. Or will we? To fill that in. I'm sorry. Only when I'm recording. And now let's take a look at it from further away. From where you're actually going to be seeing it from, which is down at street level. And this isn't at street level yet. I need to step back to see it. Oh yeah, that looks great. Okay. From a distance, yeah. From a distance, that looks really nice. So we're going to go with that. Although instead of a piece of glowstone here, we're going to go with a redstone lamp, just because it looks a bit nicer. And we're going to put a lever on the backside. So, bam. You'll never end up going up there. But even from a distance, we should be able to see. Actually, you know what? No, we're not going to do that, because we're seeing the same thing. What I've said about detail from a distance. If we use the glowstone block, which currently has that sort of 4-quadrant grid texture, then from far away we can clearly see that texture. But from extremely far away, that texture is not as clear on these redstone lamps because the detail is smaller, closer together. That's why I use glowstone. Well, the other reason I use glowstone for the clock face is just because if I didn't, there'd be levers all on the back of it. But I like it. I think that works. So what we're going to need to do now is copy it all the way around, and then figure out how we're going to do our the actual walls that go behind it. So first things first, copy that, and then resize so we get the whole thing. Go down, go back, and then up. We'll just clone this, rotate it. Ah! Yeah, sometimes the right mouse button sticks in a bit. Roll this into place, make sure it's right in the center, which it is. Now unfortunately we can't hit repeat because it doesn't work right like that. And then we'll clone this, and then what we'll do is we'll copy both of them at the same time. We'll basically just copy this entire thing. We'll hit clone, we'll rotate it twice, and then we'll clone it back in, and there we go. So we'll save this, and back into Minecraft. So we're getting there. I do like that. I think that For building that medallion detail in the top of the clock tower in Minecraft, I think that's a pretty darn good job, if I do say so myself. I like the way it came out. Now we need to use our nether brick to fill in all of the gaps. What did I do? Did I do something wrong? I did. I did it wrong. I copied it wrong. Crap. Well, the easiest way to fix that is just to manually break it. Yep, I copied it wrong. The first two are right, but the last two are wrong because they're in too far. That's what'll happen when you don't pay close enough attention to it in MC Edit and you don't look and see what's going on. Because if I'd looked closely, I could have seen that. Sometimes you make a mistake, you just have to fix it. I'll put the slab back. So yeah, that one's wrong as well. So, alright, let's go back to MC Edit and we'll fix our blunder. To do that, we need to grab this one. And we're going to fix another brick later. Nudge it out one. We can fix another brick now, actually. Just deselect, select another brick, nudge it back in. So that's how that goes. And now, if we actually... Oh. I can delete that. Delete blocks. Deselect. Now, if we copy this properly, by copying the entire thing all the way out to the very edge, which is what we should have done the first time, and clone that and rotate it twice. Now, these are all in the proper position. So we'll clone those. We will save. Close this. And back to Minecraft. So now everything is in the proper location. We just need to place our slabs in at the bottom level. There we go. That's the clock tower as it currently stands. And between now and the next time you see it, I will probably have finished up this upper bit here. So yeah. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I like it. I like this sort of, I like, you know, talking while I build anyway, so having someone to talk to while I'm doing it is nice. Yeah, that looks good. It's a good scale, I think. I think it's the proper scale for the rest of the building. Maybe. I think so. I think if it was bigger, it wouldn't look right. Mainly because of how wide the detail up there is. Yeah, I think that's perfectly fine. Yeah. The way I finished this up in the front is between the last time you saw it and today, I replaced this with the stone bricks. Because I thought that if this was stone, when this was stone, sandstone, it blended in too much with this. And I've decided to go with that for the tops of the windows and just to completely enclose them in stone. Because it's the only way that we're going to get the shape of the upper part of the window. And so yeah, in the actual picture, this white wool shows all the way around the window. But we can't do that. So anyway, that's the end of this episode. However, I do have a very, very important message. Now, for those of you who are still with me, I recently lost my top patrons on Patreon that were supporting this channel. So now the Patreon campaign is down to $16 a month, which isn't enough to sustain the channel. I'm not getting as many hours. I'm not making as much at my part-time job, and so I really need your help to keep the channel going, because it's only going to be a few months here to where I'll be out and I won't have enough money to sustain the channel, and so content will drop off significantly. My dad may have to pick up some of my expenses, which I don't want to have happen. So I've adjusted the goals on the Patreon campaign to accurately reflect our current situation. So if you've been on the fence about becoming a patron, and you have the means, I realized the reason that the patrons had to drop was because of financial problems. I realize that we've all in our own situation as far as that goes. But if you've been on the fence and you have the means and you want to support the channel, I can't stress enough how much I need your help. We're basically underwater at this point. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Please check out the Patreon campaign link at the end of the video. I really need your help. I'm SentinalH, and I'm signing out.